Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. You do have here yet again Brother Minister Cepeda providing you guys with a holistic point of view with regards to living and the information that I provide. Holistic in that I seek to provide you guys with nourishment for your mind, your body, and your spirit. And I always begin by encouraging you guys to visit my website at treeoflifeoutreach.com. I do this each and every video, guys, as you already know if you're familiar with the channel. I do this to honor my Heavenly Father that I serve and to give Him the props that He deserves. So if I say this 1,000 times in a day, it's still not enough based on what He's done for me and how much I really, really am thankful and grateful for that. So again, welcome back to the channel. My contact information is on the website. Let's begin with the video. You know, we live in a time where, if we're all honest, we can clearly see that society has basically run amok. And minus the systems that we all have become accustomed to. You guys will pardon me, I have a 12-week-old puppy who I'm house. He's doing his crate training right now, so if you hear him crying, or if I need to ask him to be quiet, I ask for you guys understanding and forgiveness in advance, okay? Having said that, I'll continue on. Shut up! Pardon me. I'll continue on with this video, and that the fact that if we're all honest, we can openly admit that we live in a time in which society has basically, by all accounts, fallen apart. Now, minus the fact that we do have the structures of our government still intact, and people aren't looting in the streets, internally and with regards to what human beings should be in their organic and natural state, we've fallen apart. You know, I heard a wise man say that humans didn't evolve from apes, but they do appear to be devolving into them. So this is based on our behavior, our conduct, the way that we treat one another, the perception that we have and hold around, the views. There's been a massive attempt to brainwash us all with regards to how we should think, how we should feel, how we should view this, how we should view that. And there's no critical thinking going on. Now, all of this, as I see it, is but a symptom of a much larger causality. And again, regardless to what you refer to that cause being, end days, last of days, end of a yuga cycle, and the beginning of another yuga cycle, however you describe that, that's your personal reference, and I respect your decision to make that call. Yet there are some obvious things that have fallen out of balance. And I am one who firmly believes in balance. Balance on a car, one tire go out of is low, eventually it'll affect all the tires, and then even the actual car itself, and so forth and so on. It'll affect the engine parts or whatnot if you just continue to ride around with one single tire that's out of balance. So I like to balance everything that I do. I think everything that we do should be balanced. I mean, the very things that keep you alive could ultimately kill you if you take in too much, be it something as simple as water, or even something as simple as air. You take a whole bunch of deep breaths of air, even though you need it to stay alive. If you take it out of balance, you'll hyperventilate, pass out, and put yourself at risk of actually dying. The same thing if you were to just ingest too much water, something that you need to stay alive, or food or whatnot, it can have an extremely adverse effect, and you could put yourself at risk of dying. So balance is important in each and everything that we do, and what's happened with our society, again, regardless of how you are comfortable getting an understanding of why it's happening, some basic things have taken place. And one of those most basic things is people have no identity. So we're going to talk about the importance of that. Because if you have no identity of who you really are, then you are providing a disservice to yourself and the entire world. A disservice to you, which affects your family unit, which affects your neighbors, which affects the people up the block, around the corner, city to city, etc. So you can just extrapolate that out and see the effects of a society of people in which no one really knows who they are and how they should be. Obviously, if you don't know who you are, you have no hope of knowing how you should really be. So these things have been kind of stolen from us very intentionally by a very small and boxed in group of people who would promote such a deed, knowing that if a person don't know who they are, then they're easily controlled. And so what I'm specifically referencing is, although on a much larger scale, it can be utilized in all aspects or various aspects of our lives individually as well as collectively. Because the truth be told, this race of people really don't know who they are. They just bought what they were told and what they read about in school. Some think they're better than others, some think they're less than others. Some think they're smarter than others, some think they're dumber. Some think their history is this and their history is actually that. So you can extrapolate that out and you can see how if you get a society of people who really don't know, then that creates that imbalance that we talk about. And this is why I provide holistic services to stimulate and to nourish your mind, your body, and your spirit with high quality information that is supremely relevant. Now, it may not be relevant for you on your individual walk and journey, but zoomed out, taken as a whole, it's relative and it's important, at least in my view. I'm going to go ahead and presume that it is relevant in your view as well, or you wouldn't be watching this video, at least this particular video. Maybe some of my other videos are not for you, but you get the point. So when you have a society of people who don't know who they are on any of these aforestated or in any of these aforestated areas that I just noted, then you kind of zoom in and say, well, not only do they not know that, they don't know who they are individually. And I just touched on some of the ways in which collective society, different races, ethnic groups have no idea who they are. They just kind of went with what they were taught in the books. And as we know, that book teaching sometimes, you just want to research what it is you're taught. And I made a whole video about questionnaires. Be a questioner. You can't have an answer without a question. So be a questioner. Why is this like that? How did that happen? How come it didn't happen like this? Who said it had to be like that? And so forth and so on. You should question everything, not from a pessimistic standpoint, not from a negative standpoint, but just from a standpoint, hey, I need to know my world. I need to know who I am, what I'm capable of, and not just know what you tell me. So you can see why people are confused on a broader scale, or should I say lost and or misguided on a broader scale, and you can also see how they are lost and or misguided individually. So that's what I'm talking about in this particular video. Those who are lost individually, and again, unfortunately, I would venture to say that number encompasses the vast majority of our society. People who are just really don't have no idea who they are, what they're capable of. I heard a wise man say that I'm not who I think I am, and I'm not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. So here's a person that's not himself. He's not what you think he is, but he is what he thinks you think he is. Utter confusion, utter mass hysteria going on internally for a great number of people in our society. And again, that affects him, his wife, his kids. They get the same information, although maybe filtered down to their specific needs and desires and situations, but they get that same message of uncertainty, lack of clarity, and lack of authenticity. And then they take that and spread that, so forth and so on. So it's important that we know who we are on all levels, but obviously it begins on an internal level. It begins with you trying to get a better understanding of who you are. And if you already know who you are very fortunate. I mean, if you really, really know who you are. But how many of us can honestly say that? Or how many of us can say, well, I've never really questioned who I am. I'm a doctor because from the day I was 3 or 5, as long as I can remember, 3 or 5 years of age, my mom and dad told me I was going to be a doctor. I'm an athlete because that's something that I enjoyed, and path just kind of wrote itself. But in any event, I want to encourage you guys to make sure that you are knowing who you are on all levels. The good book teaches, and I wrote them down because, again, my teachings, although founded on my search and my study and practice of various religions, it's not based on religiosity. So I had to write this down, did a refreshers course, so I wrote them down. The good book says that we were all given gifts, and this is applicable to the topic as we zoom in on the individuals, not knowing who they are. The good book said that the Holy Spirit gave them all different gifts. To some, he gave the gift of wisdom. To some, he gave the gift of knowledge. To some, the gift of faith. To some, the gift of healing. To others, he gave the gift of working miracles. Others, he gave the gift of prophecy. Others, the gift of discerning spirits. Some, he gave the gift of speaking in tongues. And some, he gave the gift of interpreting tongues. Now, this is one God, one divine creator, whatever you want to call it, who decided that I'm going to give each and every one of these created beings of mine a gift. He did not create anybody who does not have a gift. They may be lost. They may not be familiar with it. They may have neglected it. What have you. You have a gift, and it's a specific gift that was given specifically for you. Now, I kind of set the table with this topic here with in alignment with spiritual or religious teachings. But that just set the table. The other items on the table, or the main course, if you will, encompasses everything that a human being could be gifted with. So whether you are a partaker in religion, spiritual teachings, or not, you have a gift. Some of you guys have a gift of basketball playing. Some of you guys have a gift of art. Some of you guys have the gift of oratory. Some of you guys have the gift of laughter, the gift of humor. Some of you guys have the gift of physical toughness. Some of you guys have the gift of we'll say intelligence or mathematics. Some of you guys have the gift of acting and singing and dancing. Some of you guys have the gift of being incredible construction workers or carpenters, carpentry type work. Some of you guys have the gift of being a world-renowned oceanographer. You name it. You have a certain gift that was given to you specifically. So are you living in that gift? Are you aware of what that gift is? Are you operating in that gift? Or are you operating here in life based on the path that was chosen for you basically by society? Your mom decided, your friends decided, you wasn't aware of your gift, so you just kind of went where your education and the opportunities took you. Because again, when a person is not living inside of their gift, then they're doing the entire system, everyone on the planet, an injustice. Because people need your gift. Your gift is here for you, for them. I'm going to dress you, your mom and your dad dress you nice and sharp for a prom, for you, for them. So that you can be nice and sharp, and then you can go there and within that gulf of everyone else, within that confine or that situation where everybody else is looking nice and sharp and fine, you could blend in, and they could all they could marvel and celebrate at how great you look, and you can marvel and celebrate at how great they look. So people need that gift. And you're walking around with people who are living outside of their gift, oftentimes wondering why their life is so stressful, wondering why their marriage is not working, wondering why their finances is taking a beating. And they steady asking God or faith or self-belief, self-discipline, whatever it is they believe in, they're steady counting on that to get them through what they're doing, when we should all be getting, not focus on what we're doing, but make sure we're getting into what we already have to do. And stop asking God to bless what it is we're doing, and make sure we're doing what He's already blessed. The good book says that your gift will make a way for you. Not your education, not your friends, not your upbringing, not your beliefs, not your discipline. It says your gift will make a way from you, will make a way for you. And this is why you see all the greats who truly were the best at what they did, they were operating in their gift. This is why they had an advantage, whether it was just overall better work ethic, they got a lucky tip. The other guy stumbled right when he was crossing the goal line, whatever. When you are operating in your gift, you are unstoppable. But you can't be unstoppable operating outside of your gift. You can be good. You can go on to perhaps even be great. And if you're okay with being good and great, when you have the potential to be extraordinary, to be the best who's ever done it, what do you want? Because remember, when you're not operating in that gift, you're doing everybody around you a disfavor anyway, starting with yourself. And I'm saying you guys, but obviously this applies to me as well. I'm a human being. This applies to every human being on the planet. So we have to identify our gifts. What is it that you know that you love? And what is it that you know that you love and you're also good at? Because you're not just going to love your gift, you're going to also be good at it. Now, you may not be great and over the top yet, but that's the difference between talent and skills. Talent is something you're born with. Skills, you have to put the work in over and over and over again to develop your skills. But you're not going to have a gift that you just don't like, that you're not interested in. It may be your gift, and the reason that you're not so elite in it just yet is because you didn't work at it. It was your gift, you liked it, but the opportunity was over here, so you gave up your gift. Maybe you didn't realize it was your gift, or you was just willing to sacrifice. But when you're operating in your gift, you're going from being, just good or great to being the best there ever was. You go out there with the Picassos and the Tiger Woods and the Benjamin Franklins and things of this nature. But you have to know your gift, whatever it is. Some of you guys are excellent. You can fry chicken better than anybody on the block. Now, before you laugh at that, that's what KFC was able to do. That's what Popeyes was able to do. That was their gift, frying chicken. They realized, hey, I like frying chicken. And you know what? I'm pretty doggone good at it too. So before you laugh and say frying chicken or this or that, I heard a guy say the other day he grew up with a friend. And this guy is, he's a former client of mine. But he grew up with a friend. And again, he's a former client of mine. We still socialize very, very much. He moved out of the country. Very well to do. And he grew up with a friend who had this weirdest thing about him. He liked cleaning up. Before they would play football, and they all grew up in a impoverished neighborhood. So before they would play football, he would clean the field. And these other guys, my friend told me, they would just kind of laugh at him because they was just used to playing with the milk cartons there, the napkins, dirty diaper, a little broken bottle over there. Watch out for that bottle. They were just used to it, but this guy would clean it. And then when they got in, I think he said like middle school or whatnot, or junior high school, this guy was still, he had gotten him a little crew of his people who was going to church with his parents. And he would be going by on the weekends when they weren't in school and cleaning all those yards. And at that time, they were starting to, get off into a little bit of clubs and nightlife and doing their teenage things. This guy would never really hang out with them because he would always say he had to go clean up. And they was always laughing at him and always thought he was just weird and odd. Even though he was a cool person, they really enjoyed him as a friend. They thought he was just, an odd guy. But to make a long story short, this guy now has, he owns the sanitation project. I don't know if he's the owner of it or if he is a huge part of it, but this guy makes hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars each year. And I just told you, my friend who told me this story was well-to-do. This guy makes a lot more money than he does. He has a sanitation engineering company, or he's the president of one, or whatever it is, but this guy makes hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars each year from cleaning up. This was his gift. He identified it. He recognized it. He liked it. And he was good at it. He didn't go over there and just throw that to the side, my friend told me. So whatever your gift is, you have to be able to recognize it. So take some time with yourself. They say the youth is most important because they're the future, and I agree with it. But I also believe that for some of the guys who are 25, 35, 45, even 60 years of age, they have had a gift that they put on hold, and then now they're no longer to do that gift, whether it was star basketball player, elite wrestler, whatever. And so now they can't perform that gift. I'm challenging them to go back to within themselves, do a full house assessment, and there's some gifts right now that they have. 65, 73, 50, 49, 33, whatever their age is, they have gifts right now inside of them that they want to avoid making the same mistake that they made then. Sometimes your gift is just speaking, just making people feel good. Sometimes your gift is singing, making people feel good. What have you? So don't let age stop you. Don't feel like your time has passed because you didn't make the most of your gift then. If you're still here, there's still more for you to do. There's still gifts inside of you. When he's finished with us, he calls us home. So the fact that you're still here, if you're 85 years of age, maybe you're the best guy that can walk on a cane or whatever it is you're doing. Maybe you're the most mobile guy when you go to visit the other 80-year-olds. You're the most mobile guy and the most active guy in that whole facility. And you like making other people feel good. That's a gift. Work on it. Turn your talent from being just an incredible talent to an awesome skill. Work on it. Put the work in. Be committed. And this is how we start to create and renew the balance in our society. It starts one individual at a time who has the wherewithal, the internal guidance system is well established, and they have the fortitude to say, hey, this is what I am. This is my gift, and I'm going to operate in it. And I'm going to stop crying and begging God to bless something that I'm doing over here, and I'm going to get into something that he's already blessed. And then we get this balance back within ourselves. We get this balance back into society. So do an assessment of yourself. Hold yourself accountable. Call yourself directly to the mirror. What are my gifts? Never mind the opportunities that I blew. Never mind the people that snaked me. What are my gifts? And I'm going to operate in those. And I know that when you operate in those gifts, you become limitless. So encourage your children, encourage your spouse, encourage your coworker, anybody that you engage with, that you have a nice rapport with. Encourage them. Hey man, you know, it's important that, what are your gifts? I'm just curious. So, I just heard this video. This guy was, and we can do this because the last days is also the beginning days. The end of anything is also the beginning of something. You cannot have the end of anything without having the beginning of something. The grave isn't final. That's not the final. That's not where you stop. That's just where you stop in this realm, this physical existence. The end of the day is the beginning of the night. So keep pushing. Keep pushing. So whether it's the end of the days or the end of a yuga cycle or what have you, it's also the beginning of something. So don't fret about what it is that you could have done back when you was 20 or 25, or if you're already 20 or 5, don't fret what you did when you was 15 and you didn't follow through on a skill set that could have got you a scholarship or whatnot. Don't fret any of that. Move forward. Okay? Hold yourself accountable. Look in the mirror. Challenge yourself about what your gift is, and if it's a field or an area that it's hard to break into, you don't know how you can pay for it, you don't know how you have the time to get it done. I guarantee if you commit to doing what you can to put any kind of energy towards operating in that gift, the universe will unfold for you, and then all these ways and opportunities for you to move forward in that, even though now you can't see the finances. You don't see how you're going to have the time to do it. You don't see how anybody's going to support you in this. You need this, you need that. You don't have any of it. You don't have any means of getting it. I guarantee you, if you apply yourself towards your gift, as the good book says, your gift will make a way for you. You don't have to make a way for your gift. Your gift will make a way for you. So that's what I have for you guys. Again, visit the website. Know that this thing that's most commonly referred to as God, it's real. It did it for me. And read the website, and you'll clearly be able to see that if it did it for me, it'll do it for you and anybody else who has the faith and the courage to believe. So, as always, I don't know all of y'all, but I do love all of y'all. If you know you're feeling bad, I challenge you to go out and make somebody else feel good, and you'll feel better. If you're already feeling good, and you go out and make somebody who's feeling bad feel good, then you'll go from feeling good to feeling phenomenal. Trust me, that's just how this thing works, guys. It's just how it is. I love y'all. Stay blessed because y'all are blessed. Subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, holler back. Thanks, guys.